Hello everyone, so today is December 5th and this is part 2 of my December 5th video. And the reason why I did separate the video, the previous one from this one, was because I was talking about my health and it became a really long video, and I thought, okay, if I just continue talking about other stuff, it's going to be even lengthier, so might as well just chop it up, and this one will just be a bit more fun. So today is Friday, and the sky is a beautiful cerulean color, and it's just so nice and bright and lovely. Fridays are always the best days, in my opinion, and I think everyone can agree. Mondays always felt dull and boring. Tuesdays was slightly dull and slightly boring. Wednesdays was slightly getting okay. Thursdays always felt either invisible or felt too mature. And then Fridays just felt perfect. And especially during school, I remember always, like, even if it was the worst part of the period, you could be doing some kind of taxing work, but then you always know, in the back of your head, that, okay, it's Friday, everything's going to be fine. And yeah, it always felt so different. Even if it was like the most cloudy day out there, the atmosphere was just so good. And the afternoons always felt great, even the evenings as well. So, when it comes to like Saturdays, I always feel like Saturdays are fantastic and mature. And then Sundays, I used to really hate Sundays. And then back in 2017, my last year of high school, I remember towards like the final few months, I remember just starting to embrace Sundays and just say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to complain about it, because for years I've always hated Sundays, and especially towards the evening. But I changed my mindset, and I started to kind of just bask in every single hour and enjoy every moment. So I would really, really enjoy every moment. I would be so grateful for every hour, and even sleeping. Like, I would be so grateful to go to sleep and dream. And I used to really hate just the day ending on Sunday, because obviously the next day was school. But I always felt happy when I could obviously just dream, and every moment mattered. So yeah, I really liked that. I really liked how I changed my mind on that. Anyways, so days are interesting, very interesting, and it can be cloudy. It can be the most cloudiest day ever. But back in school, Fridays were always the best days. Um, anyways, um, since we're talking about school, last year I went to my school to vote, and I did mention this last year. And when I saw everything, I mean, a lot of things were similar from the old days, but they did a massive change. And it's a bit disappointing, because all of the good changes happened after I left primary school, which is so disappointing. Like, I know when it was my final year, like towards the final few months of grade 7, I remember there were people entering the school putting up cameras. And I was like, OMG, this is so horrible, because now they're gonna spy on us and stuff like that. And I just remember how that slight change started, and then very, very soon, every time we drove past the school, you could see some strange change, and everything looked so different. Even the school grounds, which was outside our school, it was like you have to cross the road in order to get to the grounds. It was damaged when we went there. Like, the staircase was very, very, well, I wouldn't say fragile. It was made of concrete, but it was cracked in many areas, and not every part around the grounds was perfect. It was very steep to be on, and I did not wanted to like stand on like the worst places. But um all of a sudden they changed it within a few years. Like, I think they started to change like within this decade, and it looks so good, it looks so safe, and this is just so fantastic. It's like, okay, why didn't they change it for me when I was in school? Even though I barely went to the grounds, it would have been good to look at. But I really, really, you know love the fact that they changed a lot of stuff, but I also hate some of the changes because there used to be this area next to the pool. Like the pool was fenced, and I wish I had like a picture to show you. But anyways, that area was always like that big block used to be like for playing, I think netball or something like that, or was it volleyball? Volleyball. And the rest of the time, children were not allowed to walk on that block. So yeah, I remember now. Now they changed it to having this large, like, what do you call it, carport over it, and and it's really dark, and there's a bunch of benches on that spot. In fact, even the regular assembly place, there's just a bunch of benches. And I was thinking, where do they have assemblies anymore? Because that's where we used to have, like, every Tuesday is a big assembly. So yeah, that's something really strange. Even the old like shelter stuff for the assembly place, it used to be like this green material, really large, and there were multiple of them. But then they changed that to these like metal carport stuff, which is good because it stops the rain. But at the same time, it's like, I'm sure it's going to be pretty noisy. It does not look so good. But still, I'm still happy that they gave some really good changes. And anyways, obviously, I'm sure many of my old teachers are not there. So, if I ever were to visit the school, I don't think I'll find most teachers from my past. But still, it's interesting to just, like, look back at the past and just kind of miss those days. I used to hate school, and now I kind of miss every moment of it. And I just really have that soft spot. Like 2013 used to be my worst year. Well, back when I was experiencing through 2013, it was my worst year. But then, like, I would say 2014 came and I started to fall in love with 2013. And I still remember how gloomy it used to be, but I still have that soft spot for it. 2014 used to be pretty bright, I remember, but still I now look back at 2014 and say, wow, this was still a good year. 2015 as well. Like, I felt like 2015 was much more of an upgrade of 2014, but 2015 was better. And I really miss 2015. It was my final year in school, and wow, I miss it. And high school I do miss as well, but I have more memories with primary school because I was there for so long, for 8 years, from grade R to grade 7, which grade R is not like kindergarten, if you're wondering. It's totally different. You have to wear uniform, you have to do test papers and examinations. You learn the basics to get ready for grade 1 and plus, but obviously grade R is just an extra getting ready for the next grade, and it's pretty interesting, because we had a lot of like heavy moments in grade R, and it's not all fun and games. Okay, sure, there were toys in the room, but we were not allowed to play with it. Okay, and yeah, after that, grade 1 was interesting, grade 2 was interesting. Grade 2, I became, I would say, one of the greatest readers in the class, and grade 3 was miserable, but I still look back at it with fun memories. That was 2011. Wow. I always remember the atmosphere from those years. Like, for instance, grade R, most of the atmosphere was cloudy, rainy, and depressing, and grade 1 was gray, but I don't remember it being awful, lonely, but awful, but not awful, sorry. Grade 2 was bright and okay. I had a lot of embarrassing moments in grade 2. Grade 3 was bright but miserable. Grade 4 was, well, there were some like gray days in grade 3, but still. Grade 4, I can remember mostly it being either sunny or it being gloomy. And from grade 4, we were allowed to go to the building that had like two floors. Well, in grade 1, we were on like the bottom floor, but grade 4 we were allowed to go up, and our class had this magnificent view. Like you could see like the other building, and you can just stare at it sometimes and just lose yourself. But then that's also a problem if you're losing yourself through the window, because a teacher can catch you. Very frightening. Okay. Very frightening. But grade 4, I remember it being like either gray or sunny and enjoyable. I was taking school seriously. Grade 5, it was gloomy, but I also look back and think of the warm evenings, the cozy evenings, the beautiful sky. Um, just really lovely. And grade 6 was pretty bright, but still um, not super great. Grade 7 was just all over the place, but still, I would say rather just plain, and yet it was so interesting. And then grade 8, wow, grade 8 was a brand new class, and even though most of my days I can remember now, I'm feeling all of those memories just gushing in, and oh, I having all of those sensations, and the smells are coming back to me. Um, so grade 8 was a totally different building, totally different school, but it was at first very difficult to get used to high school life, and then I feel like maybe by the end I kind of got used to it. But grade 9 I was really used to it, and I felt really big, because you're not the little guys anymore. You're someone more respectable. You are just enjoying life. And um, in our schools, we have a thing called tuck shops, which you can go and buy stuff from, like sweets and stuff, and chips and pies, and um, during the breaks, obviously. And sometimes, like after school, like in primary school, the tuck shop was open, but inside the school to have a tuck shop, that's fantastic. So I know in other countries it's different, like they have cafeterias and stuff, but no, tuck shops, you can just buy something, and most of the stuff I bought from grade 8 and grade 9 was sweets, wine gums, jelly beans, oh my gosh, and also like individual sweets. And I remember I would just have a bunch of sweets in my blazer. And in class, I would open one so gently with one finger. Well, so no, sorry, one hand. Just open it slightly, and then put it in my mouth and cover my mouth with a handkerchief, and just kind of like put it in my mouth, and just not chew the sweet. Just let it, like melt in my mouth. Sometimes I'll roll it about, but not try and make it seem as if my cheeks are so uh, big with something. That was really fun, really sneaky, really fun, and I had a lot of nice sweets. My favorite were these Artine sweets. I can buy it right now, like for a cheap price, a big bag of them, and they come in various flavors. My favorite was just those sweets because, oh my gosh, so good. Really hard to bite, but just so good. Um, miss those days, don't I? Really do. Unfortunately, you can't get them back. Can't get them back. So you gotta cherish every moment, every sensation. By the way, I remember writing my name behind the school. Yeah. Um, so, you know, uh, our school wasn't like indoors or anything. It's like multiple buildings branching from like just all close to each other, but various sizes and stuff. And most of them were just flat on the ground in high school. Um, and let me just say that there's like, obviously for every class you got to walk. Once the bell rings, you got to walk out. And I wrote my name behind behind the building. It's a classroom, a long classroom, but at the side of it, there's another building, which is the bathrooms. And so that back, we don't really go there, but early in the morning, I remember going there with my friends, and we took with this, the rest of the world calls it whiteout. But we took that thing and we just kind of wrote our names in small, because on that wall, side wall, there were a bunch of other people's names from like possibly like, around my same time, I was in school, but also older generations. So I saw that and I was like, you know what? My friends were writing it, so I wrote my name. I don't know if they cleaned the walls, but yeah, my name is there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if if that's gonna change anything, because no one's gonna know, oh, who is this person? Yeah, no one's gonna be like, oh, this person. Yeah, no one knows me. So well, no one knows me. Most people don't know me, I guess. I don't, majority of people will never know that I wrote my name. I was the one who wrote my name on that building. um Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Just pretty fun talk about school and stuff. And yeah, oh yeah, by the way, my favorite thing to do back in high school was to play with the bubblegum underneath the desk. I know it was really gross, but I just it felt so weird just to fidget with that. Okay, that's a bit too gross now. Anyways, bye bye.